And awesome. All right, let's go. Well, welcome Alien Dev to the AMA. This is the dev of Happy Pill. And yeah, he's here to talk to us about their amazing project and what they've got planned. Take it away, man.
Yeah, well, again, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I enjoy AMAs. I like being transparent with the community, and we do a lot of VCs over at the Happy Pill, and we also do weekly voice chat discussions over at our other group, Crypto Anonymous. I'm the dev. I'm Alien Dev. I'm the dev of the Happy Pill Beam project. I'm also the dev. You guys might have heard of Rustic. Rustic's a zero tax community play. But Beam is our tax play. Beam's kind of our baby. It's the one that we've really put a lot of effort and time into. And I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but Beam is focused on happiness. What does that mean? It means that a lot of people in crypto are kind of unhappy lately. They've been faced with a lot of scams. They go through a lot of pain. There's a lot of people that are really hurting from a mental standpoint from all the scams that they face. I've been trading in crypto for about 2 years now, so I'm relatively new to the space. My background's in corporate marketing and advertising. I spent about 20 years traveling the globe, working on big creative projects and for some of the biggest companies in the world. About 2 years ago, I got into crypto when it was good. I got into crypto when things were pumping. One of my first very successful events as a trader was Mononoke Inu. I was one of the top holders of Mononoke Inu, and it kicked off my crypto career great. Back then I was really loving life. After Mononoke Inu, it kind of went into a zombie Inu. I picked that up in the first couple of days, and then I was one of the early holders of Shinja. So, my initial crypto career was based in success, happiness, celebrations, high-fiving my wife every day saying, well, what the hell? Crypto's the future. This is just unbelievably awesome. And, over the next few months, as you all know, things started to take a downturn. And so for the last 6 to 8 months or so, maybe a little bit more, I went from having very high and fun experiences in crypto to losing a lot. Constant rug pulls, constant scams, constantly trying to update my best practices to overcome this just plethora of scammers that have infiltrated the space. And one of my biggest scam losses came in a token. It was called a launch called Stacks Protocol. And so I'd been scammed for a while, and I ran across this token, Stacks Protocol, and it was sponsored by NBA players. It had Kendrick Perkins on board with an AMA right after the launch. It had Shaq's son was tweeting about it, and I said to my wife and my family, I said, this looks damn good. I had never seen a token with real-life professionals on board and no less an active ESPN analyst. So I went all in. I put a good 15 to 20K into that project, and that night it rugged essentially. It was bad, and so that was my first big hit in crypto. So over the next few months, as it got worse and worse, and every day you check live new pairs, and you've got a lot of rug pulls, I kept losing and losing, and eventually I turned to my wife and my team, because I have a small advertising agency. I have an HTML5 animation agency, and I said to the guys, I said, we've got all the skills in crypto to create very nice projects. A lot of this is digital marketing. It's based around brand development, and I said, let's put together some projects that are safe for the community, so at the very least we can launch them and people can have a good time. They don't feel so bad. And so we launched a couple projects. Of course, when you launch your first projects, you go through the growing pains. You don't realize how complicated it is on the dev side. We had a really good launch in World Series baseball, but at the time I was working with another contract dev. I wasn't in control of the main contract. And so there were some issues there. We got up to about 700K market cap. Well, after that project, I told my team, I said, you know what, we're going to control our own projects now. I figured out how to do them myself, all, from start to finish, every aspect of the project. And we launched Rustic as a community token. We set up a community call channel called the Howler Calls, and we launched Beam through the Howler Calls. So Beam, the happy pill, was kind of like the end result of a lot of failures, being scammed, and it all coming together into this master project where the goal is to increase happiness in crypto and make a positive impact on the ETH community by providing them a place where they can get resources about mental health. They can step away from trading for a second and look at their real life and maybe focus on family. And they can learn more about how to become a better trader, not just through knowledge, but also through creating a happy and healthy mind. And I think that it's a really good niche to fill, because when I do research on mental health and crypto, there's been several charity type things set up over the last couple of years. Vitalik donated $1 million or $2 million at one point in 2020 to mental health. There's been other organizations established, but the problem is that was during the time when it was pumping. So a lot of people didn't really focus on mental health. But what we've done now is come in the bear market. Everybody's hurting. And we're getting a lot of people on board. We're getting people that are coming to us on a daily basis now since we've launched, and they see that this is really something powerful. And they're saying, here's my story, and they tell me their story. They tell me about their failures. And I tell them, look, I'm not a certified health professional. I'm not claiming to be a doctor, but I'm a good guy. I've been around the world, and I know a lot about people. And if we can just help them with increasing their knowledge through resources, give them tools they can use to better their trading experiences, and try to eliminate some of the scamming that's going on, I think that they're going to have a much better time. And that's what the Happy Pill is about.
I just came a little bit late, but it looks like, Alan and Mike covered it. But man, you guys have been absolutely killing it. You guys started at like around a 2K market cap. It went to 20, 30K, something around there. And it just went down to 2K, 3K again. And it just, went all the way up to around 40 to 50K, and then went back down to, around the $5,000 market cap. And you guys just keep on building and building, releasing new updates and stuff like that. So it's amazing that, you guys have been doing, you've been so consistent. I would like to say you're probably one of the most consistent developers I've ever seen in this space. Amazing, and kudos work to you, because we've been supporting you guys for a long, long time. Let's say, about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, we had a Twitter space and we told you guys, hey, Happy Pill's at a very good market cap right now. It was sitting at around 8 to 10K, something like that. And we told the frogs, I'm like, yo, guys, good entry right now. Literally 2-3 minutes, because people know we've been supporting you guys for such a long time. 2-3 minutes later, pumped all the way up to 25K. So obviously people have, made some profit and stuff like that. And, this project had a lot of great entries, Usually, a chart goes like this, or let's say it goes down like this. You guys were a lot like this, So, but you guys just keep on only time before you guys really, blow up and, break that floor,
Yeah, well, it's been a wild ride, that's for sure. I mean, I'm sitting in the pilot seat, and I'm going up and down. It's been turbulent, but we've had a lot of good highs. We've stuck together, like you were saying, in the lows. When we got down to those lower market caps, we were all depressed. We said, man, we put all this effort into this awesome project. We've got all these utilities that are already created. We've got a very nice concept here, and then we're wondering, well, what the hell? And then you look over and the Doggo project is just, rabid up the charts, and you say to yourself, man, what's going on in crypto? And, you got to understand that that's just the way it is. And if you stick with it and you're resilient, you can overcome that. And we've done that. So now we've hit 80K market cap twice. And we're headed back that way. Right now, I think I haven't checked the chart in the last hour or so, but I think we're around the 30K mark. But the thing that I like is that we're starting to get new buyers in there. Initially, the reason there was such a big dip was because we had a couple of the early buyers that I'm not associated with. They kind of sold out there, and it took a bit of a dip, just like everything. But we recovered it. We worked hard. We delivered utilities. We came up with some advanced branding, some enhanced branding that kind of developed the brand out a little bit better. We put up the Crypto Anonymous website, which is a really cool organizational type site that we put in to complement Beam. And I think we're making really good progress, man. I think that we're at an awesome buy-in right now, and I think there's a lot of potential. And I'm sure that we're going to hit that $1 million plus market cap. We just got to stick with it.
Completely agree. So, talking about, Beam's utilities and stuff like that, talking about mental health is super, super important within the crypto space. So what utilities and, other services does Happy Pill offer? And do you guys, plan to continue scaling these products?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. We've done a few things. So when we launched, one of the first things that we delivered was a mobile. Basically, it's a mobile health application. So it's a functional mobile application that you can sign in, create an account, and use. And the goal of it is to track symptoms. So if you've ever had an ailment in your life, a physical ailment or a mental ailment, and you go to the doctor, the first thing they usually ask is, what are your symptoms? What have you been feeling like? Anybody that's had multiple ailments, as you get older, you have more and more ailments. You realize that it's good to keep track of those symptoms. It's one thing to go into the doctor and say, yeah, I have bad headaches, every day or something. But it's another thing to go in there and give them a time and date and the exact symptoms that you're feeling. With that information, they can treat you much better. So the idea or the concept behind the mobile application is a few things. You can record your depression or anxiety type symptoms. So you can go in there, log in, and record different symptoms that you're having, which will track the time and day that they happen. It'll create a log for you that you can review later and say, wow, I'm looking back at my week and this is just no good. I've been depressed every day and this is really adding up, because if you don't track those things, in our real lives, days pass and you kind of lose track. It's the next day and you're up again and the same shit's happening. And really you don't step outside yourself to see what's happening from an overall picture. With this app, you can kind of do that. Another thing we have is an anger tracker. So every time you get angry, you can kind of log that, because a lot of this stress and anxiety and depression that's caused by the scammers, it comes over into your main life. And not only does it cause you those depressive type symptoms, but a lot of people, it can create rage. It'll create rage in you. So it has an anger tracker. It also has some resources in there that you can access, news articles about depression and crypto and how they interact. So that's one thing. We've got the mobile application that's live. Another thing that we did, and I think it was about 10 days after launch, is we released the first edition of our digital publication called Beam Magazine. And all that is it's a magazine dedicated to mental health. So if you, we can share it in here. Maybe people have seen it already, but if you read through the magazine, it's various articles and topics focused on how mental health and crypto is related. And there's tips in there, there's best practices, there's overview or insight into what happens if you get sick or you're feeling depressed. There's all sorts of good information like that. Another thing it is it's a revenue generation potential, because we can sell advertisement space in that magazine as it expands. So that was another big one. Once a month, we're going to release that. It's a digital publication called Beam Mental Health Magazine. We've got a bunch of other things going on too. Of course, we set up Crypto Anonymous. Crypto Anonymous is kind of like an Alcoholics Anonymous. It's a place where people can go in the crypto community, and if they feel like they're having overinvestment problems or depression or anxiety, or they just simply want to share their story, they can come join our group. We try not to promote. We definitely don't shill tokens in there. It's just for help only. And we try to promote the community coming together to learn from each other. So we'll have weekly discussions on mental health, and we'll get in there and hear people's stories out, and people help each other and give each other support. Those are the items that we've released so far. In a little bit, I'll tell you kind of what we're working on, because we got a lot of other stuff coming. But we've got the mobile app, the magazine, and Crypto Anonymous so far that are live utilities.
Amazing work. So could you, you mentioned a little bit about the magazine. You went into that briefly. Could we know a little bit about? Could you talk a little bit about the boardroom? The boardroom is something super, super great that you guys. I guess it's kind of your main utility. I believe you have to hold either 1 to 2.5% of the supply to be given access to the boardroom. Could you talk a little bit about the boardroom and what utilities it has and such?
Yeah, well, I didn't even mention the boardroom because I'm in there every day and it's basically like my second home. But the boardroom's a pretty important place. When we started the token, a few of us came together and said that it would be a good idea to have a place for kind of like the top holders, for one, mix in a few of the guys that weren't top holders, create a diversified space where we can get together and kind of steer the direction of the project as a group. So it's not just the dev on my side coming up with ideas. We actually have a group of guys that are very dedicated to the project. Several of them have been there through the beginning, but other guys have come in through contest wins or just being dedicated members of the community. And inside the boardroom, it's kind of like a behind the scenes. It's kind of like if you watch a movie and then later on you see clips behind the scenes. Well, that's exactly what we do in the boardroom. You see a lot more, cussing for one. Of course, we have the big days when we're just throwing cuss words out there, but we're mainly coming up with good strategies and concepts, and we'll talk it over, make sure that the group's on board, and then we'll present it to the main community. So the boardroom's been a great asset. I've had some other projects, and I never had a boardroom or an executive group like that, and I really enjoy it so far. So that's what the boardroom is, and it brings a lot of value to the project.
Yeah, great. So, could you, you talked briefly about, holding a certain supply to be accessed in the boardroom. What are some future utilities that you guys, will have planned, um, for boardroom members and such like that? Would something, for example, could be airdrops. It could be, NFTs. What do you have planned in sorts of that?
Well, the boardroom's a place where we come together and kind of come up with ideas. It's not necessarily a place where there's additional utility benefits. There are some. For instance, we're talking about creating a peer-to-peer support network where people are certified to speak to others about mental health issues. So in the United States, which is where we're located, you should have a certification behind your advisement. It's kind of like financial advisement. It's the same thing in the health industry. So one of the things we're going to do in the boardroom is, if you're in the boardroom, you have an opportunity to sign up and complete that training. So when we open up our peer-to-peer support network on our website, you could be one of the guys that is in there helping others and also earning ETH or earning tokens, Beam tokens, as payment for that support. We'll have two levels. We'll have an executive level of support reward system. We're also going to have a public level of support. So imagine, like, if you have a computer issue and what do? You go on Google, you do a search, you have that computer issue, you try to find out answers. It takes you over to a forum where people have submitted answers to that problem, from around the world. And somebody votes and says, that helped me out. That was the answer I used, and that person receives points or rewards or whatever they get. So what we intend to do is we intend to open up a section of the website. It's the same thing. People come into our group or our forum and they've got some sort of issues. They want to know a best practice, some way they can avoid a scam. Maybe they're having a bad day and just need a pat on the back and some insight, maybe a direction to a therapist or something. Our guys will come in there on the public level or the executive level, and they can support their response requests. And then those responses will be voted on by the guy that submitted the initial request, and the winner would get paid out in Beam tokens. So we're trying to create a system where peers help each other. And here's the reason why. When you go to a therapist, he may not be familiar with crypto, okay? When you go to a forum of crypto traders, they're familiar with crypto. So you're going to get a lot more dedicated or specific support versus maybe going to see a generic therapist. I'm not saying that you skip the therapist. I'm just saying that that's another resource that someone might use to get value add, in a way that's going to help them. In return, the community might receive rewards for their assistance.
Okay, great. So, a lot of, in the future, it would be amazing for you guys to have, guest speakers, that come onto the boardroom and talk about, crypto, famous psychologists and stuff like that. That could be super amazing, to get them up to join the boardroom, talk a little bit about mental health and stuff like that, which is super, super important. Absolutely amazing. All right.
All right.
Well, real quick there, I want to comment on that if you don't mind. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. We've also been thinking the same. Another thing I haven't even mentioned is a token gateway that we've constructed. What that is it's not the boardroom where you have to have 2.5% to get in. It's another one where you have 1% to get in. And the goal there is to create exclusive resources like that. So you're exactly right. You want to have maybe a video segment done by a professional in the healthcare industry that's focused on mental health. An exclusively created video that there'd be a cost. We'd pay the guy, he'd do the video, and that video would be hosted on the back end of that token gateway. So if you were a certain percentage of token holder, you would be able to access that resource as well as other resources and advance your knowledge of mental health and crypto.
All right. Amazing. I would love to see that in the future. Definitely will come join and definitely, give it a nice listen. All right. So, in your white paper, we read through the white paper and stuff like that, and it talks about the developers behind Happy Pill are part of a brand called DGen Brands Agency. So for people that don't know, what exactly is this agency and what do you guys stand for? And if so, has this agency launched any successful projects in the past?
Yeah, great question. DGen Brands is simply a company we set up that's essentially a marketing and advertising company, which is what our backgrounds are in, where we provide creative services as one aspect of the company to the Ethereum community. So when people want to launch a project, we can build their brand. We can come up with their concepts. We can help manage their project. We can dev for them, whatever you can imagine related to an Ethereum project, we can handle. But more importantly, the dedication and goal there was to create safe launches. So initially, DGen Brands was set up to put safe launches on the map. So somebody was out there that was doxed in a way. I mean, I'm doxed to a lot of people, not everybody. But yeah, so it was a company put out there to provide safe launches to the Ethereum community. To address your question of successful launches, that's a tricky one. Yes, we've had some successful launches, but again, it was a bear market. I think the highest we've gotten so far is 700K market cap. But consider that we've only launched a handful of projects, and we only started DGen Brands about 2 months ago, I believe. So 2 or 3 months ago. I think it was October. But yeah, we've had some great successes, to be honest with you. It's just on the development side, a lot of people got to understand that I had a guy come into the chat room the other day, and he said, I checked out DGen Brands, and I saw a project or two on there that had flatlined, and I don't understand why you're advertising them. And I said to the guy, I said, listen, first of all, I knew he was there to FUD because they always do it. They come in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping, and then I wake up to it. But I said, look, here's why. I always answer him. I said, I'm proud of the work that we put into our projects. Some of those projects that ended up flatline, and there's like 2 or 3 that we put hundreds of hours of work and effort into. They have completely built brands. They were safe launches for everybody. They were low tax projects. In fact, we always have zero tax projects running. Like right now, we've got Rustic running. It's a zero tax project. The dev team owns 0 tokens. We just support the project for free because we like the ETH community and we're trying to do something good there. So it's projects like that. And so we've had our successes, but we've had our failures too. The only difference is I don't try to hide them. A lot of people will only talk about their good projects. And what you got to realize is that every dev out there has had failures. I'm not ashamed of my failures. That's part of being confident. And that's another thing related to mental health too. You don't want to have that low self-esteem. If I put a lot of effort into a project and it was a safe project, I feel better than 99% of other people that are out there scamming people. So, yeah, we're proud of everything we've done, and we've had some good success and met a lot of good connections, and I think we're just getting better and better.
completely agree. You know, you guys are working super hard. You've been at it. You know, even when the chart went down to 3K market cap, there was a guy DMing. He's like, I've been holding for 2, 3 days and it's worthless. And I was like, dude, don't sell, man. Like this guy, me and you were talking for a little bit, and you were telling me about how you know you wanted to help reverse the chart heavily. I was telling the guy, I'm like, don't sell. Like I'm telling you, don't sell. And you know what ended up happening? He ended up selling right at the dip at around a 3K market cap. And then the next day it went to, I think, 40 or 50K. And he DMs me. He's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I sold, blah, blah, blah. Because he put in a pretty decent bag. But
yeah, well, a lot of a lot of guys.
I told him, I'm like, don't sell.
Yeah, well, that's the attitude these days. Everybody's look. That's all comes from scammers. You know, they've scammed everybody to death that you're afraid to hold anything, and I don't really blame him because it's so GD out there that it's hard to hold your bags these days. But when you find a good project like ours, you know, you gotta try to stick in there and kind of push for that project. Things happen quickly in crypto. You know, just a little insight into the boardroom. When we talk about market cap in the boardroom, no matter what the market cap is in real life, we're always talking about 500K, a million plus, and that's just the first level. So you've got 12 guys that are core holders in the boardroom that are completely focused on high market cap, whereas, you know, maybe people on the public are trying to think they're going to make 0.05 ETH profit or something. We're under a totally different impression. We don't really care what the market cap is. All we know is where we're trying to get to, and that's millions plus. And I think with our concept and our professionalism, we're going to reach it.
I completely agree. You know, you guys are working super hard. As I mentioned before, you guys are one of the most hardworking dev teams I've ever seen in the crypto space. Usually when the project goes down a little bit, and you know, you guys it went from 40K and then it went all the way down to 2K. Everyone in the chat was just fudding. I'm like, guys, I talked to Alien, man. He's going to be working. He's working on the project and stuff like that. So it reversed the next day, and you definitely proved all the fudders wrong. But it's also good that you guys are, you know, doing it in a sense because, people that, let's say, you know, projects that go up like this, you know, in a sense, there's a lot of dangerous people that buy in at the beginning. But with your concept, I think it's pretty cool that you guys had something like this, and then it went all the way down, like down here, but then you got rid of all like the fudders, all the bad people down here, and just kind of built your way up, you know?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, and that's exactly what happened. And anyone that comes over to our chat room, they're going to find out pretty quickly that I'm very transparent. Number one, I don't blow a lot of smoke up people's butts. You know, I tell it how it is, and if I see somebody maybe selling on the team or selling on other top holders, I say it. You know, because I think that the best way to be honest in this community is to just call it like you see it. So I've got some guys that don't like me sometimes, but then we've got a very loyal group now that's taken that floor and stabilized it easily in the 20 to 30K space. So I feel like that 20 to 30K is a lock. So right now it's like entry time, and that's not BS. That's like real shit. I know you hear that a lot, but we just have not let it drop below that in a while now. So what we need is new buyers. We need people that are good, that want to build that floor, and they don't want to G'd out because, again, we're shooting for those higher market caps. But you're exactly right. We had some guys in the beginning. We kind of shook them out in a way, and of course, they hate you later on, and they call me names and stuff. But I don't mind. I just keep moving forward, and I don't care because we have our minds focused on the goal here.
Agreed. All right. So getting more into the token, you know, could you give me a breakdown of like the tokenomics in terms of taxes, liquidity, and any other important information you want to add, such as, you know, if you guys had a private sale or pre-sale, something like that.
Yeah, sure. We've got, believe it's 1 billion tokens. So a 1% bag, you're looking at 10 million tokens. The taxes are 5.5. All of our tax money so far has gone back into the project 100% in the form of contests. We've done some buybacks. Of course, we've hired a bunch of callers. We've had, of course, you guys were on board. We've had Mad Apes, Anime, Crossover. We've got Gandalf supporting us now, which is amazing because Usually he doesn't take on the lower market cap projects. When I contacted him, we were at 25K, I believe it was. And he was like, I don't usually do this. And I said, yeah, I know, but the concept, you got to remember, this isn't about market cap. It's about concept, making a difference. And he's awesome, man. He was like, yeah, you know what? I reviewed the project. This is amazing. I'm going to support it. He gave me a great deal, and he's been so great. And then he led me over to Dojin, and Dojin's been awesome. He's tweeting every day about us too. So we've got all the big guys on board. So we spent some marketing money there. Another thing that we had that was very interesting regarding liquidity, we didn't start off with too much liquidity. I think I only started with the ETH and liquidity or something. I don't feel that you need a ton of liquidity to launch a project. And, it's as a dev team, you don't really want a bunch wrapped up for a year, because I've got a year lock on this liquidity. But we have a community member that's been submitting tokens into the liquidity. So we've actually got an angel supporter that I have no idea who it is. It's not me. It's not anybody on my side. It's somebody that believes in the project. And in both Rustic and Beam, he's been injecting tokens into our liquidity. So our liquidity is looking really good now. I think I'd have to check the chart. I don't know what it's at, but it's a good ratio. So yeah, our tokenomics are relatively simple. We're not doing anything like super sophisticated with the contract. It's a simple contract. We didn't have any pre-sale. We didn't do anything like that. We launch all our projects stealth. Super stealth. Actually, I don't even open up the Telegram until I hit deploy, and then I open up Telegram because the address is in the contract, and that's how it goes. So I believe in that. I'm not a big fan of hype launches. I don't like them. I think that they get a lot of pump and dumpers, and of course I like to avoid all the bots. So in our launches, we don't like doing that. We don't get bots, and we do it the right way. So that's kind of how it is. And we just, we have a few small bags on our side. Everybody's got their own core bags, and we work them just like everybody else, and we paid for them just like everybody else right on launch.
It seems like the community is really liking this. I'm reading through the comments right now. A lot of great positive comments. Really, really amazing to see. All right. So, Happy Pill, you guys have an amazing community. Speaking of community, actually, you guys have a very, very active and very, very engaged community. Despite, the market cap being a little bit on the lower end, your community is one of the strongest I've ever seen, if not the strongest I've seen for a project, with this, I guess, I don't want to say quote unquote small market cap, but on the lower cap end. So how do you guys, plan to sustain this and grow, your community over time?
Yeah, great question, because everything's about community these days. In order to overcome the jittery, you got to have a good community. It's amazing how lucky we got, and the people that came into the project early. After that initial dip, there were some real soldiers that came in that are just amazing people. I've got a guy, Dan. He's like he's just such a leader. I have another guy, Piccolo, that's one of the top guys over there. A guy from Rustic called NOKB. They're leaders. They shill like crazy. They pick me up when I'm down. A lot of people don't talk about that, but as a dev, you go through so many roller coaster up and downs that you get depressed. I mean, don't think that these dev teams, yeah, sure, when you're flying and it's hundreds of market cap, you're doing good, but when it starts to dip, you start feeling like crap. And the only people that you can rely on is your own team. We have a small team. It's about 5 people. But then you rely on your community. And I think that's the greatest asset that's been at the table, is that I've got a community of supporters. When I go in that boardroom, man, they're like cheerleaders. They pump me up. Before that, I was doing a voice chat last night, and I went in the boardroom, and they're like giving me tips and pumping me up. And you're thinking, this just doesn't happen in every project. You get good people, but this is like another level of special. And so I think that in order, as we grow this community, I think that they're doing it. They're the guys that go out and they shill like crazy. Like you said, we don't have a high market cap, but we're all over Twitter. We've got all these big followers. Why is that? It's because we got a bunch of guys that are honest and decent guys. They hold their bags like crazy. For one, they're diamond handers big time. but they also are positive and they pick you up and they like keep pushing no matter what. And they don't even care about the market cap. I think that that's what's going to draw more people over to our project. Honestly, I think the community itself is what's going to do it. And I think their continued shill efforts is just going to pay off. I think eventually we're just going to get bigger and bigger. And there's going to be one catalyst that just sets this off into hundreds of thousands and then into the millions.
Right. Yeah. I was just taking a look at some of these questions that are being asked at the moment. Great, great, great. All right. So a lot of people are talking about how the concept's, super inspiring and stuff like that, and very good project. Uh, Big respect to Alien Dev with his brilliant concept. Absolutely amazing. All right. So can we, touch a little bit about on the roadmap on Happy Pill's white paper? So what have you guys already completed? What stage I guess you guys are on, and what are your next steps to for Happy Pill?
Yeah, great question. It's always good to refer to the white paper. I know a lot of people put out white papers that have a lot of substance, but they never meet it. We have completed just about everything. I mean, as I look through the list, I just pulled it up. First, December, we had the mobile website app. We released the magazine. We've had our introductory AMAs. We have a bunch of custom brand content that we've created. We're developing this brand out like crazy. My background is in serious brand development. I've worked for some of the biggest companies in the world as a direct advisor, Fortune 100s on their brands. So I've built, websites for Walmart. I built websites for big companies. I won an award for a website for Sonic, if you've ever eaten at Sonic. But I've done all the big companies, and so we're really focused on brand development. Initially, when you launch a project, you've got to catch people's attention, and that's what our goal was. So a lot of that first stage stuff that we've completed was focused on building a brand, and that's building a brand from a visual standpoint, but also building a brand from a communicative standpoint in the way that you talk to people, which in our case is respectful. When you get into mental health, there's a certain way to treat people that are having problems. You're not too harsh on them. You got to be very understanding. We've got a lot of back end discussions going on our side that really focuses on that. As far as white paper actual attributes being done, we've completed the magazine like we said we would. The Beam website's up and running, of course. We've got a great social media foundation. We did our core Telegram groups looking awesome. One thing about our white paper you're going to notice too, we don't make grandiose promises. We don't come in there and say we're going to have some new exchange ready by next month or something. No, we're more reasonable and real with the things that we do, and we try to create real concepts. Going into the next month, we've applied for CoinMarketCap. We've applied for CoinGecko. One thing that we're going to do before the end of the month, we've got on there introduction of a Discord channel. So we're putting together a Discord channel that's going to work hand in hand with our website and the resources that we're building out for those websites. So again, we've got two websites. We have cryptomyelitis.com and we have, cryptoanonymous.io. All that stuff's going to come together to become like an ecosystem of sorts, and it's all going to work together. So we've got an educational library that we're building out for mental health resources for people to access and learn, and that's all getting done. And then I'm hoping we've got established solid floor at 100K market cap for January. We've got about a week or two to do that, and right now we're at the 30 range. So I need some support. It'd be great if some of your guys here in the chat would come over and check out the project. We could use some new buyers and new holders over there. I think you're going to be very happy to come over and check that out. Moving into February, you'll notice in my white paper, I'm only going 3 months deep because I know that things change. So in February, when it comes, I'm going to advance that another 3 months. But we're going to try to establish a mental health support line like I was talking about. So we're going to get a couple people certified. We're going to have a line that you can call. Hopefully it's 24/7, but if not, it might be, a 12-hour shift. And people will be able to call in the crypto world or in any world if they need mental health and get a little bit of help. We're going to establish a Beam merchandise store. Why are we doing that? Well, it's to spread the message. I'm big into apparel. In my life, I was pretty successful and I owned a big surf company, a surf brand in Central America. I used to fly to China to get all my clothing, and I'd fly all over the world, really. And I had a very creative and nice surf company, and so I'm big into apparel. And I've seen the power that messaging on shirts and clothing and apparel can bring to people. In that case, it was all cultural based. In the case of Beam, we're going to create a line of apparel that's focused on happiness. You might be familiar with the Life is Good brand. Life is Good did it really well. They created a whole brand of clothing that drawn attention to living your life in a positive manner. We're on the verge of creating some branded items that we're going to turn into merchandise that will kind of spread the message and build the brand out. So we have that coming. Another thing that we're working on that I don't even think I put on the white paper is I got a concept. It's called tokens of gratitude. And what that is that we're going to build a part of the website where somebody can go there and they can buy gift cards or online digital gifts of sorts, and they can do it using Beam tokens, and those gifts will be sent to people as thank yous. So no different than going to the flower shop and buying flowers for your girlfriend or something like that. But in this case, you're going to an online store. You're going to pay with Beam tokens, and we'll call it the Tokens of Gratitude website. And you'll be able to buy some sort of online gift that you can send to somebody that you know, hopefully in crypto, but it could be anyone. And they'll receive it, and maybe it'll even be a gift card with Beam tokens on it that they can cash in. So that's a big initiative in February that I'm looking to build out. I don't know that it'll be done by the end of February. I hope it will, but if not, March is probably a good timeline for that. So we've got a lot of cool stuff that's coming up.
Amazing. I'm super excited for that. Honestly, you guys are definitely a longer term project. We'll see as the winter goes on, what you guys have, in store. So, really great to see. I see a lot of people asking questions already. So, before we get into the community questions, and obviously our Kahoot, one last question, that needs to be asked is, obviously Happy Pill offers resources that aim to improve mental health, in the crypto space. But how do you know that Happy Pill is actually making a difference?
Well, that's the biggest question that we ask ourselves every day. And I'm telling you already, I'm seeing some really cool stuff. This last weekend, I was looking. I'm always on Twitter, of course, because I'm the guy posting and retweeting and all that. But I logged in and I saw Gandalf. He had posted on his Twitter page on, I think it was Sunday. He said, "Hey guys, so what are you doing today? Are you going to go crypto or are you going to go family?" And I don't know that he does that on a regular basis. I don't know if it was a coincidence, but coincidentally, the day or two before that, we were talking about that, and the mental health issue came up. What I love was when I read through the comments there, most of the people were choosing family. They were saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take a break for family. I need a break for family." So if that was related, which I think it was, that's amazing, right? Because already the concept and bringing attention to the fact that mental health is important, that you got to step away from crypto sometimes, he's making a difference. That's a difference. Here's another example. I went into Crypto Anonymous yesterday before the voice chat. Man, all of a sudden I had like multiple people sharing stories. Man, when they share the stories, everybody lights up. They're like, "Oh my God, I feel that too, man. I went through that too. We got to work together. We got to make a change." And that's the power of something like this. If we all stand up to the scammers and we start educating ourselves and we start working together, things are going to start to change. It won't be overnight, but you're going to start seeing it. People are going to start paying attention to the fact that they've got to step away from crypto. Sometimes, at least, no matter how much you love, I love crypto. Don't think that the Happy Pill Beam is like anti-crypto. It's 100% not. It's the way to deal with crypto in a healthy way so you can still have a positive life, positive well-being, and have fun doing it and not feeling like crap all the time because you're getting scammed. And so, I'm seeing differences already. I've got guys, I could show you today, I've got multiple messages that are coming in from people. I love the concept. Man, you're helping me out. And they're telling me their personal stories in DM. And it's so good to know that, you feel alone a lot when you get scammed. You feel like you're all by yourself. You feel lonely. Your self-esteem goes to shit. You get anxious. You get stressed. but it feels good to know that there's other people out there that are facing the same struggle, and that you're not an idiot after all, that you're just a guy that got taken advantage of by a scammer, and that needs to stop. You can take a step back and figure it out and deal with it. So I think there's a big difference that I'm seeing already. I can't imagine in the coming months how powerful this might become.
We can't hear you, by the way, Keith. You're bugging out a little bit.
Are you talking to me? Did I cut out?
No, I'm talking to Frog himself, Keegan.
Okay.
I think he's talking, but he's bugging out a little bit.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, amazing. All right, hold up. Okay, sorry guys. My PC, my not my PC. Sorry, my MacBook ran out of battery, so I missed what you were saying. But yeah, I got the little gist of it. I completely agree. We were talking about this, a couple weeks ago. How I actually ended up getting scammed and lost a lot of money. So I completely get what you're saying. It seems like scammers in the space are making more than the legit people, and that's why I know a lot of people are talking about decentralizations, importing with crypto and stuff like that. But you need some sort of, I think, regulation in a sense. Will provide, for crypto would be very, very beneficial. But obviously, it's nice to have decentralization in a sense. But I believe that if crypto were to become more, I wouldn't say the word centralized, but more, there's like cracking down on scammers and stuff like that, easier to, not like launder money out, for example, not get hacked easily, I guess a better effort in, getting rid of these fake minting sites or, fake tokens that, that everyone gets airdropped. And then when you sell it, it drains your entire wallet, stuff like that, basically. So I completely agree with what you're saying. I totally understand.
Well, I'd like to comment on that, actually. When it comes down to scammers, there's several different facets that you're faced with. And of course, the immediate facet is you losing. Okay, so you lose, you feel bad. And that's usually where it stops. People don't think of the bigger picture, but the bigger picture is this. When a guy scams you, he's also creating a system that's not functional. It's dysfunctional. He's creating a platform then in crypto that is eventually going to lead to what? It's going to lead to regulation. So this decentralization that we all love and want to happen, they're killing that too, because all these government officials and organizations, they're watching crypto and saying, this is a shit mess, right? And so what are they going to do? That gives them an excuse to come in and regulate the industry. And it's not because of decentralization and they just want to kill it. It's also because of all the scammers that are running loose and they're killing people's money. And that's not good for society. And so when you're scammed and you support projects, you got to support projects that have real people behind them with real ideas and they put real effort in them. Because when you don't, and you go out there and buy some token just because it has a dog face or something, I mean, come on, you're only making it worse, and you're going to end up in a situation where they're going to regulate crypto because of that. And then it's regulated, and guess what? It makes it almost impossible for anyone to do anything. Only the people with money are going to be able to launch projects. They're going to tie you up so much to be able to launch something and do something that it's just going to kill everything.
I didn't actually think about it like that, because then now random developers can't, launch. And I feel like a lot of developers that are, kind of anonymous and, kind of weary and stuff like that, that's part of the token that allows the token to do so well is like, because, obviously Bitcoin, we don't know who the founder of Bitcoin is. So something like that, could be, I didn't even think about it like that. That's a great perspective to shine light on. Yeah, all right, amazing. So guys, please drop your questions below here. I'm gonna hold up, drop your questions below here. Okay, guys, make sure to drop your questions below on the latest post. We're gonna answer some questions and super excited to answer some of them. All right, guys. I saw a lot of questions being asked a little bit earlier, but please put them below here so you can read through them. All right. So Dan asks, great project. He wants to ask about the multi-language. So how do you intend to keep investors that can't speak English or type with English? And do you have a plan to create a multi-language community?
Oh, that's a great question. I haven't received that question yet. A little background on myself. I'm an American, born in Colorado, but I've lived half of my life overseas. I've lived in places like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Uruguay, and I'm very familiar with cultures from around the world. My wife is from another country. She's another language, of course. I speak multiple languages, at least on the elementary level. I get by. I speak a little bit of Arabic. I speak Spanish fairly well. So I appreciate culture. And of course, I want to make this Beam token accessible to other cultures besides just the West. How do I do it? Well, for one, I've built the website using a new platform called Webflow. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Webflow, but Webflow is a really cool website platform that was basically built for people that like to hand code. I've been building websites since like the year 2000, and I always wrote my own HTML for them. But this is a platform that allows you to get things up and running very easily. But another thing it has is it has multi-language capabilities. So right away, what I can do is I can add languages to that website to start. My wife is a 100% fluent Spanish speaker and does a lot of translation for people. So I've got that resource. And of course, I know people from all around the world. So if we wanted to advance the project in that direction, which we will, I've got people that can easily help me out on that and get me proper written word in various languages. And I think that that's crucial. You might start off with some of the more populated languages. You got Chinese. They've got 1 billion people over there. They're into the crypto. So that'd probably be an initiative here. In fact, I might even put that on the list for February to start focusing on. And if I spend a lot of time in Hispanic or Latin cultures, so I'd probably do Spanish as well just to start. But we're 100% open to it. I've been all around the world. I think I've been to something like 45 countries. I'm into it. So we're definitely on board with that idea.
Great. All right. I'm seeing the questions. Some of these questions are pouring in. All right. So, DR Binance asked about partnerships are an essential part of the whole strategy for any project. So can you please name some of the latest partnerships that you guys have made? I guess besides us.
Yeah, right. Well, the partnerships we made in the first 3 weeks or so are mainly just, partnerships with influencers. Of course, those are the partnerships that you want in the beginning to advance the project. What I'd like to see when I think of partnerships is partnerships with real life mental health agencies. Because I feel that our angle, which is the crypto and mental health, hasn't been addressed yet. Crypto is relatively new. There's not studies out. Like if you do a search right now, there's no studies out of the effect of crypto trading on someone's mental health. I think that we can bring something like that to the table and partner up with like real life mental health organizations around the country that would probably dedicate some resource to the cause and at the very least provide us excellent insight and education. Another partnership that I'm trying to work out the details on is a partnership within, because I've got this community tax, zero tax token over here at Rustic. And I think there's a partnership potential there between the two projects working together because we have a really good community over there. So that's more of a local partnership, but that's something I've been thinking about as well. But yeah, it is. It's all about building partnerships. We're always looking for people that are professionals. Another partnership I'd like to build is with health professionals, certified health professionals that come in and kind of maybe put their face on the project, support the project, create those exclusive resources for the project.
All right. Just like reading through because a lot of people are DMing me their questions, so I'm telling them to put them on the discussion post itself rather than just DMing me. All right. So this is a really good one, actually. I guess it's kind of a suggestion, but Crip says instead of creating a utility that counts when you get angry, I think there should be a utility that acts as a log to track journeys that you have for each project that you guys invest that the trader invests in. It could be a great suggestion.
Well, yeah, I think that's awesome. The same goes with your trading history. If it's just like the symptoms in your health. What's the best way to learn about something in your life? Well, I'll tell you, it's data. I'm big into data. I use a platform called Airtable a lot. Airtable is a database platform. It's kind of like an Excel on steroids. I was in the agricultural industry for the last few years while I was doing crypto, and I would create big solutions based on data around the produce or plants that we were working with. And so he's exactly right. I mean, if you want to better your trading, you need to look at your histories. You need to log those events. I've always wanted to create a bunch of what do you call it? A suite of tools that you use to better your trading capabilities. Of course, those tools would be based on the data you collected from your history of trading, and I think it's a great idea. I mean, we're totally open to using data. We haven't really focused on this project because we're more on the mental health aspect and using data for there. But of course, to become a better trader, a happier trader, you want to kind of record your historical, events.
All right. And, talking about, the historical events, I think the next, a better question to even, not better question, a follow-up question to this, Paul asks my question is about the education library. How does this contribute to the project, and would there be a fee to gain access to it?
Well, one of the goals of every project, coming from the corporate world, of course, we're always thinking about revenue. So when it comes to say an exclusive library, you've got two sides to this. You have a library that we'll create that we'll share with everybody. Those are going to be your immediate general go-to questions to get help. Like, we want to provide to people resources that really help them out. If they're having a bad time, we want to provide them a library that they can access through Discord or online that's free. It doesn't cost anything. The next tier up, which gets into creating revenue for the company, because when you own a project like this, you don't want your token holders or your investors to only rely on the token's value, but you also want your token or your project to generate real revenue. So we might have the next tier up is going to revert to that 1% holding exclusive library area. That's where you might create something a little bit more special. It might be more based around advanced knowledge or education versus immediate access healthcare resources that you could use to, really solve your problem. Of course, after that, you could get into all different types of tiers, but it's complicated when you're running a project because you want to do, especially in crypto, you want to really help the community. And so you got to focus on that, but you also want to make sure that your investors are protected. And so you got to create some sort of revenue generation for them. So when it comes to the library, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of both. Immediate access resources for everybody, exclusively created resources for people that hold a certain amount of tokens.
Amazing explanation. I'm super, super bullish on this library. I'm super bullish on the boardroom itself and how you guys are going to, integrate the boardroom and like the library together. I'm excited for, the special guests are going to be coming on soon. Super, super excited. All right. So, Chris asked, in terms of swapping your token, how do you plan to solve the issue like high gas fees, poor user experience, and fund locking? What is your plan to bring non-crypto users to your project so that everyone worldwide will benefit? I guess he's talking for a longer term vision.
Well, sure. That's a good hard question, right? I like the hard questions. One of the things is going to be through that tokens of gratitude. We're hoping that, when somebody purchases the Beam tokens and they send them maybe on a gift card to somebody else, that's going to be an introductory experience for people to get associated with crypto. Why? Well, we want them to start because we think crypto can really do great things in the world, but also they'll have an experience where they receive that gift, they go onto the website, and they're going to have to retrieve the tokens or the payout, whatever they choose to do. And in order to do that, they're going to have to become a little bit familiar with crypto, with the process, of the swap process. So that's definitely a great question. It's something that we really need to think about and address, but that's an initial step towards that direction. One of my first projects I ever launched was actually a subscription platform that I had constructed that was providing crypto resources to people. And I was really focused on bringing newcomers or beginners into crypto and making them have a better experience. That's actually a live site, but I'm doxed through that platform. But I always try to focus on spreading the good word about crypto and making sure that when you introduce someone to crypto that you make them well aware of the risks. I don't like the guys that go out there and they just tell their friend, you got to buy this, man, buy this token, get into that. You got to really be honest with your friends. When they're getting into crypto, they're getting into a complicated situation potentially, and they need to be careful what they're doing because, you want them to have a good experience. Great question, and something I'll talk to the team about too. I think we need to focus on things like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm super, super excited. So, a lot of these great questions are being asked. You guys are definitely going to, branch over to the long-term audience through, hosting sort of, master classes. Even the TikTok marketing could be super cool that you guys, have like let's say a guest speaker, or you guys have like a boardroom meeting, for example, and talk a little bit about that and then post that up as, TikTok videos. I think that can be super beneficial in getting, people to join your Telegram, learn more about the project, and they want to get access to that boardroom. Obviously a lot of buys are going to come in and stuff like that. My question, I guess I forgot to ask is, do you guys, ever plan in the future, to introduce staking?
I mean, it's been talked about. I'm not I'm not the biggest fan of staking. It's not that I hate it. I don't do it. It just hasn't been on my radar. It's easy enough to do. It's not one of the more complicated things that you can do when you're setting up the technical side of your project. It's not at the top of my list, in all honesty. I mean, it's not. It's something that can be discussed. I know a few guys have brought it up, but we're open to it. If there's benefit and the community wants it, we're pretty much open to anything that the community wants. I talk to the community a lot, and I like to hear them out. They'll tell you that if they request something, I usually get it done. So yeah, we're open to it. It's just not at the top of our list right now.
All right, great. All right, so let's. I want to see if Alan or Mike is on, for us to do the Kahoot, or if we want to do one more question. Actually, let's do one more question. Okay, so I see Matt asks, is the Happy Pill provides access to mental and financial health services, and this will really help bringing back healthy habits in the crypto space because it is something that everyone needs. I would like to know how could you make this happen, and can we access these services from anywhere around in the world? And what are the advantages of secure? Wait, hold on. Please, do you believe? What are the advantages? What are the advantages of you believing security is one of the most important factors, I guess, to consider before investing in a project? Would you mind to share it with us? I put in some little filler words just so it's better to understand. But if you want to look through the post itself, it's posted at 5:06 p.m. on the latest post.
Yeah, I will. Let me take a look here. I understood it. So firstly, the resources. Well, the resources will be accessible to everybody because they're all going to be digital resources to start. Anybody will be able to go to the website and see the information that we're constructing and building. They'll be able to download it. They'll be able to share it. Being in the digital space and being marketers, we're pretty good at being able to share creative assets and educational assets via online means. We've got some pretty creative ways of doing it. So there's going to be a good experience. One thing we're big into is user experience. So really focused on it. When you come to the website, we want you to have a good time. Already we've got a chat option up there. We haven't been manning it 24/7, but we'd like to get to that point. But yeah, they'll be able to be accessed by anybody. We're hoping that, like you said, we'll get into that multiple language thing. That's usually not something you do first month, but maybe second or third month you're into that. So there's that side of it. And as far as the security aspect, I mean, I'm wondering, he's asking if what are the best practices to avoid getting rug pulled, or what? Some clarification on that.
I guess so, how do you safe it within the space and such.
Yeah, well, we've got one thing up right now, which is our Medium, and I've written about 4 or 5 articles there, and some of them are related to security. You know, I live in Chicago, and I've got a lot of buddies that are in the tech world. They work for big companies like Malwarebytes, Radware, Proofpoint, and they, so a lot of my conversations are about security. Now, of course, that goes into scammers and everything else. It goes into their protection systems, and I look at a lot of their presentations. Security is huge right now. You know, there's so many people around the world, and a lot of them are getting into shady stuff because they come from lower income countries. And that's the easiest way for them to make money, because they can go online and they can scam. They don't have access to jobs and opportunities in their countries like we might have in the West. Or other developed countries. But, security is always on the top of our mind, whether it's security when you're investing and we're trying to give people tips and best practices, or even if we start creating more advanced resources, or maybe there's confidentiality type stuff going on where we want to protect our users. So if that means somebody's coming to our website and they're paying for, let's say, some sort of online therapy, we want all that to be secure as well. So there's so many aspects of security, but know that we come from that realm. You know, we're really talking about that a lot in our daily lives, in real life. So it's important to us, and everything we do, we kind of consider that.
All right. I want to see if Mike and Alan are ready to do the Kahoot. Are you guys ready, my friends? We have a Kahoot ready. Let's see if Mike and Alan are.
Yep, just let me get it up and running. Just give me 30 seconds.
All right, perfect. Man, if anyone here was watching the launch at or we did an AMA with Houdini Swap a little bit ago, about 2-3 days ago. And man, they launched at a mil market cap. It went to 15 million in less than 2 minutes of the launch. It's currently sitting at around 8 million right now. Damn.
It went from 1.2 mil to 10 mil in one candle, man. I was just watching this shit blow up.
Wow. Yeah, Alan texted the team chat. He's like, Frog, check this real quick. Absolutely amazing. Great. All right, let's get this Kahoot up. Dude, Alien, thank you so much, dude. This was what an amazing explanation, you talked about with Happy Pill. Super bullish, and honestly, one of the best, if not the best community I've ever seen in crypto regarding, such a small market cap token. So hats off to you, my friend. Keep up the amazing work.
Thank you so much for having us on. I appreciate it. You know, me and you've been through some ups and downs since the beginning of this project, and then man, you guys have been very supportive and flexible, and we appreciate that. So I hope I was able to bring some insight about the project, and I enjoyed the show very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Alien. Just gonna get a couple people to join our Kahoots. We usually start at around 50 when there's around 25 people that join our Kahoots. So super, super excited about this. If you want, you could stay. Totally up to you. But yeah. Thank you so much, my friend.
I think the AMA was just a little bit in a bad timing just because of the Houdini swap launch. They had a VC like half an hour before the token went live. And they had over 600 people in the VC.
Yeah.
Before launch. 600 people.
And I get a bunch of DMs from people saying they've made some money. So amazing work to see from there.
I didn't get so lucky, unfortunately. I didn't manage to get in. But I'm waiting for a good dip to buy up. Absolutely crazy. Like, genuinely crazy, crazy stuff.
So I just posted the link to join the Kahoot in the chat. So if you guys don't want to type in the game pin, you can just go to the chat and press that link. We'll wait 2 more minutes. One minute warning, 1 minute until we start the Kahoot. Alrighty, 10 more seconds till we start, so everyone join up. Ten-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0.5, 0.25. Let's begin.
All right. Wow. Almost 35 people joined today's Kahoot. It's always improving. You know, as we do the AMAs and such, the numbers keep going up. Amazing to see. All right. First question. This one has 12 questions, guys. Mike worked super hard on getting this Kahoot up. So what market cap did we first call Beam, which is Happy Token, at? A little bit of a trick question, but let's see if you guys can do it.
And the answer is 2K. We called these guys pretty early on, actually. Need beats in first. Alrighty, second question. What network did Happy Pill lock their liquidity on? Unilocker, Murderlocker, it's Mudra my bad. Pink Sale or Unicrypt?
Okay, guys, which locker are we partnered with? This is kind of a teaser question. I don't know if a lot of people know who we're partnered with regarding our locks, but
Unicrypt is the answer. Matt takes second place, Matthew in third.
And Need Beans always in first, man. This guy's killing it.
So how many articles on mental health has Happy Pill published? If you guys did your research, this should be pretty easy. Alrighty, nice. Yeah, most of you guys got that one. Question 4. What are Beam's buy and sell taxes? This one's also quite easy.
Definitely an easier one. Yep.
Nice. Most of you guys got that one. Easy. Need Bean still in first. Matt still in second, and Matthew still in third. Nice. Question 5. Beam's contract code is renounced. True or false? A lot of quick answers from you guys. Very nice. And it's true. Moving on. Greed takes third. Very nice. Question 6. What was Beam's all-time high market cap in late December? This one's a bit trickier, I'm not going to lie.
All right, this one's a little bit complicated. I want to see if you guys can truly get this one. I actually don't know the exact figure myself, but it is.
It was in between 80 and 85, yeah.
I would have said blue, because I...
Matt in first, let's go. Question 7. What are the different aspects of Happy Pill's mobile app? This one is pretty easy.
Fairly easy one, yeah, completely agreed. And yes,
some people only said mental health network. Interesting. Greed takes second. Very nice. Question 8. Who are the developers behind this project? Remember, we talked about this easier, so all you guys should know.
This is a fairly easy one. Let's see what y'all get.
Nice. Leaderboard still the same. Question 9. What is crypto? I don't want to butcher that word.
Cryptomyelitis, I think.
This one is probably the easiest question.
I wish it was green.
Matt on a streak. 9 answers in a row. Crazy.
Absolutely insane, Matt.
Question 10. If you hold 1% of the Beam tokens, you will have access to a world of exclusive benefits as a member.
Okay, this one's fairly obvious.
Who knows, though? It could be 2%.
Oh, wait. No, never mind. Hold up. I think I know what you did there. This is a trick one.
No, it is true.
Oh, okay, never mind. That would have just knocked
Beert Dennis on a nice little streak as well. Second last question. In Happy Pill's white paper, there are 3 roadmap stages. What stage is Happy Pill currently on? Phase 2. Check the leaderboards. Still haven't changed much. Alrighty, last question, I believe. Yes. Does Beam have amazing artwork?
I would have to agree. They do have amazing artwork. I'm not going to lie. These guys have one of the best I've ever seen on a project. Kudos to them.
Agreed. Nice. Basically, all of you guys got that one. All right, let's check the podium. In third, Need Beans, familiar face. In second, Greed is Good, also a familiar face. And in first, Matt. Congratulations, friends. Let me screenshot this. Very nice.
Did this guy get all 12 questions right?
Let me actually check that. Let me check.
Yeah. I need to know. That's quite impressive if so.
Indeed, it would be.
All right, guys, we're going to be giving away the best, I guess, random listener giveaway. My Mac looks a little bit glitching. But guys, join up Happy Pills Telegram and just comment about what you thought about the AMA and such like that. Just join up. But yeah, join up the AMA guy. Join up the Telegram on Happy Pill. Let me know what you guys thought of the AMA. As you guys could see, it's all on the Telegram. It's all the announcement post. You can see everything is all there. But yeah, make sure you guys join up. We're going to be giving away random listeners to someone there. So make sure you guys join up. Be giving away someone random. We're going to give away we'll give you guys 45 seconds. A lot of great questions asked. Man, I'm a little bit tired today, but a lot of great questions asked. We have an AMA planned out for tomorrow, and I think we're just confirming on Friday. We'll let you guys know for that. But tomorrow's is, you know what? I'll say this as a little secret. All right, our next AMA tomorrow is with the Ultimate TUF token. Super excited about this one. These guys are an ETH project. So I'll just mention that there. Our AMA tomorrow is with Tough Token. So yeah.
So I actually just checked the answers, and Matt got every single question right, 100%.
Wow.
That is crazy. I think he is the only one to get perfect on a Kahoot since we started doing these, actually.
Yeah.
So big congratulations to Matt.
Congratulations, Matt. Man, that's amazing. Here, hold up. I want to see if I've ever given to this guy. You know what? I think we're going to give the best random listener giveaway to Dan Thinker12. He's rocking the CryptoFrog's Gems name. He's rocking the profile picture and everything, and I've never given him a prize before, and he's in a lot of groups. So congratulations, Dan, on winning. Amazing work. All right, guys, we're going to pick away the best question soon. Alien's going to let me know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Please comment below in the latest discussion post. Just spam. I don't care. Just spam stickers, spam whatever. We want to get to maybe 300, 400 comments, something like that. Just talk about the AMA and stuff like that. Thank you guys all for joining. It really, really means a lot. Just keep spamming. I don't care. If you want to use stickers, our sticker pack is here. Let me find our sticker pack. Let me get it here. I'm going to use our stickers right there. If you guys want to use our stickers, get those loaded up. Thank you guys so much for joining. It really, really means a lot. We got another AMA planned tomorrow. So Dan was the winner, I believe. Let me get his username. In case I mess up. Let me get his username. Thinker12. All right. All right, guys, make sure to join up. And yeah, thank you guys all for joining. It really means a lot. We got a lot of AMA scheduled for today, for tomorrow as well. So super excited to have you guys on. See ya. Peace out.